Hello, everybody! Welcome back! Me? It's John. I'm here. Hello, and I'm here for the Video Game Cheat Sheet podcast. It's been way too long. Oh my god. I am so relieved to be back. I'm gonna be a little honest here, everyone, just to get up in front. You know, I'm back, but I'm also kind of not fully back because I also just got my COVID booster shot, so I am really tired, so I'm sorry if I'm like, what? Huh? Okay, during this recording, because I am kind of feeling like that. So please forgive me. But I'm here. Hello, everyone. I'm recording this episode with my friend and yours, one Maverick. Mav, how you doing?
Hey, what's up? Oof, let me tell you. It's been a week. It's been a fucking week.
Yeah, it sure has. It really, really has. You know, I don't know exactly how you want to tackle it. I'm okay with kind of just going straight into the hard stuff or waiting until later. But yeah, this week has been pretty difficult both in and outside of the game space. So, you know, we're gonna keep it focused on games here, but of course that does still mean that we are gonna be talking about some serious stuff. But you know, we also did that last week, or at least Scott and you did. So yeah, let's just go ahead and tackle this right at the front here. Not really beat around the bush. So the continued issues with Activision Blizzard has seemingly hit yet another boiling point. I did not think that there would be another boiling point, but there is another. And it is that the Wall Street Journal investigated and found out that Bobby Kotick fully knew, like, everything. Like, he knew fucking all about the sexual assault, all about the, you know, sexism and the hazing and the harassment. He knew everything. Did nothing about it. Just completely ignored it. And even, you know, there's even some accusations that he participated in as well. Not too surprising, considering that he has pretty much constantly been seen as a piece of shit. Like, people have always hated this guy, but it has mostly been for like, oh man, you ruined this video game, and not you're a legitimately horrible being. But, you know, he absolutely is, and yeah, so that came public a few days ago. And after that, Activision Blizzard staff members rallied together and started to say, yeah, we don't want this guy to be our CEO anymore. We want him out. And in, you know, I guess as good a company could be, a good company would oust the man who is protecting, you know, hundreds of abusers and perpetuating tons of workplace harm, like sexually and mentally, and like overworking people and all that. But that is not the case for Activision, especially because Bobby Kotick filled up the board with a bunch of his buddies, and not just like his buddies, but a few people that also include him, who appeared in Jeffrey Epstein's Little Black Book. So these are people that are, you know, not. I don't know if I can specifically say safely what that says about them, but you know, it's pretty obvious if you know who Jeffrey Epstein is and know the kind of people that hung out with him, that Bobby Kotick and his ilk are those people. And they are protecting him. They are keeping him CEO, and the workers don't want it. And not only that, but both Xbox and PlayStation's bosses have come out and said, yeah, we don't want to really work with someone like this. We don't want to work with a company like this. PlayStation was kind of just being like, oh, we're rethinking we're rethinking what we're doing. But like Phil Spencer pretty specifically came out and was like, yeah, no, we're absolutely going to be cutting them off unless something happens. Like, you know, this is a big deal here. Like, the two of the three consoles are like ready to cut off one of the largest game creators in the world because of the things that the CEO and people like him were perpetuating at this company. And, I mean, it could be argued that, hey, we wish that this stuff was public sooner, but for now, it's just really frustrating. And I mean, I guess this kind of goes to show why it wasn't public sooner, because the system's fucked up from toe to tip. Like, it's just everyone is protecting everyone else. It is extremely difficult to have repercussions when everyone is covering each other's asses. So I don't know. I don't know if you have any insight on this, Maverick.
Man, this motherfucker is in Epstein's little black book. Like, come the fuck on.
Yeah.
Like, how much... And, maybe this is partially charged by other cases where it is very easy to see a situation where it's like, why is there any debate about the situation here?
Mm-hmm.
And then you realize it's less debating about the situation and more realizing many people understand the guilt that they have, but they are also in positions of power that let them just sweep shit under the rug.
Mm.
Just very... Oh, folks, we love to see a continual showing of asses.
Mm. Just
ass and balls full on display. A real shout out to the one and only Dark Side Phil. Just... it is so aggravating, and I read through the very quick profiles of every other person on this board, and my eyes glaze over just for every foundation and every funding that these people are a part of, which then immediately glosses over into, they also work they also worked in Disney, they also are on the board for Fox, are also on the board for various other organizations that have had their other fair share of having to be like, immediately harangued for not giving a shit about their workers, where now it's at least a case that, hey, we can at least point to a union that they begrudgingly are a part of or associate with. And just it's tiring. Like, more and more that I hear about the Blizzard Activision situation, it's ridiculous. And to see that it all is just toe to tip this cavalcade of bullshit helmed by one of the most egregious motherfuckers about it. It is tiring, to say the least.
Yeah, it is depressing. It is a lot.
And what's more depressing is, they're just really running it to the ground, dear old Mr. Epstein's name, when he was racked with all that guilt and very much definitely took himself out of the picture. No other way about it. God, I remember when that was still, like, going on a bit of a tangent about all this, because what else is there to say about this situation aside from, I hope Bobby Kotick ends up with literally no money in some capacity. I hope he trips into he Scrooge McDucks himself.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that much. I hope that he Scrooge McDucks himself, but in real life. Maybe in Minecraft. Liabilities. But, no, just like the amount of time that we all just fixated over this, like, little visage into the reality that, yes, rich people know each other and rich people do some fucked shit.
Mm.
But I digress.
It is pretty consistently a nightmare, and I just hope that more and more people realize that together we have more power than separate, and that things keep changing. Because, right now I feel like, the beast that is capitalism is going to continue fighting until it's completely dead. Like it's going to keep clawing and thrashing until its heart stops. So, we got to keep working at it, or else it's just going to get right back up,
Amen to that. Amen to that.
So I guess after that, we just kind of got to go into video game news.
So now you're going to just commit to capitalism? All right, I see how this is.
Yeah. Oh, man, they just came out with a new Pokemon game. That's one of the biggest things in the world. that makes tons of money, and also I feel like this game was probably made in a shitty way, and I'm not happy about that, and I guess I could just talk about that. Yeah, I got Pokemon. I got Brilliant Diamond. Have you played the original Diamond and Pearl, Maverick?
So honestly, no. Like this is something that I thought about in the anticipation of any kind of Gen 4 remake. I am very curious at the actual nostalgia people have for Diamond and Pearl, and how much of it is a clouded overall misunderstanding of how many of those people are actually just nostalgic for Platinum. Because 2010? No, not 2010. Whenever Diamond and Pearl re-released, or originally released, Platinum was my Pokemon game that I got at like age 10 to 12ish. The years blend together, but that was the one where it's like, oh no, I actually understand how Pokemon games work. I understand how RPGs work. I'm getting myself into the anticipation of a release cycle, because that very same generation was the setup for Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which are also, honestly, Platinum, Soul Silver, and White are like my top three Pokemon games. Interchangeably, but all the same. And so, in that anticipation for the eventual Gen 4 remakes, hearing that it's just straight up ports, or not ports, but just like focusing on the Diamond and Pearl split, that immediately killed my interest, if only for the fact that I just am distinctly nostalgic for Platinum. The way that Platinum works, the way that it is doing a culmination of what a Diamond and Pearl were focused on, is more what I remember and what I associate more with my nostalgia for Gen 4, alongside all of the Johto nostalgia. So when it comes to a lot of that marketing, I'm just really curious, how much of it is hating for people, and then how many people are just kind of thinking like, oh, right, there's the third one that I actually enjoy.
So as you should, because as somebody who plays every single Pokemon game as they come out, which,
diseased. You have an illness.
Yeah, I am the beast that worships.
You have the Pokerus.
I really do. Diamond and Pearl aren't great. They're not the worst Pokemon games, but they're the second worst. Like, X and Y is worse. But
there it is. There it fucking is.
X and Y is the worst. And these are, like, the fact that they didn't take a lot of what Platinum fixed is frustrating. It's very frustrating. The fact that they didn't, like, update the gym leaders' teams, so characters like Volkner, the electric type gym leader, has, like, an Octillery, and the fire type Elite Four guy has, like, 2 fire type Pokemon. Like, stuff like that is very stupid. And they did fix some of the issues in that there are actually, like, underground areas that you can go to, so you can actually catch more fire type and electric type Pokemon. It just, they didn't apply that to the gym leaders for some reason. And, the map is still kind of shitty. The story isn't very good. Like, they really, like, I wouldn't even say Cyrus is a good character ever, but he is, like, a non-entity in Diamond and Pearl. And then in Platinum, he's actually like, oh, this is actually like a standard team leader, on par with, say, Giovanni or, the Team Aqua and Magma guys, Archie and Maxie. I don't think they've really figured out team leaders until Gen 5. Like, Gestus is like the, one of the best ones, and I mean, they tried with Lysander. They didn't do it, but they tried. But that's besides the point. The point is that this is very much just like a very quick, I don't want to say cheap, but just bland remaster of those original games. And some of the stuff they added is nice. Like, they did get rid of HMs. You don't have to, you don't have to carry a Bidoof around with all the HMs. You can just not worry about that. You just use them in the Pokétech. That's fine. They made it so you can access your PC from the field, just like in Let's Go and in Sword and Shield. That's good too. That's useful. I love that. There's other stuff that people don't like the XP share, which I don't care. That's fine to me. I'm not going to get up in arms about that, but I know people don't like that. It's take it or leave it. Whatever. It's there. That's I don't know. Yeah, they added stuff to the underground. There's no GTS in this game, which is weird and frustrating. Instead, it is just the Wonder Trade. If you know from the 3DS games and Sword and Shield, you just put something up randomly and you trade it with someone randomly. That's it. I don't know. I haven't played too far. I've only gotten the first badge, and it is the same. It is the same thing, other than a few quality of life upgrades that were from other games. None of this is new stuff per se. Having the physical special split helps out a lot. Having the new type, having fairy type moves helps a little bit. It's little things that help, but it's definitely not enough to be yeah, this is worth it, especially when it is $20 more than the originals were. I mean, even considering inflation, that is still a bit more. It's asking a lot for something that is not that much of an improvement. And I fully believe that this just happened because they thought that Legends Arceus was going to be out sometime this year, and they couldn't finish it because of COVID. And they were just fuck it, we need to get something out. Let's just get someone to do a Diamond and Pearl remake. And yeah, I mean, if that's really what happened, I'm not upset at the devs. I'm upset at Game Freak for feeling like they had to do this. Because they should just take as much time as they need to make Arceus and not rush this shit. It's fine. I can chill. I say, oh man, I named my Pokemon Fix. But really, if they had just been yeah, no, we don't have one this year. Okay, that's fine. You know how many other Pokemon things I can fuck around with for a year? There's so many games I can replay. There's ROM hacks, there's the TCG, there's all kinds of stuff.
I mean, yeah, and I would say it is very... I look at the people above actual developers, I guess the Pokemon Company itself and Nintendo. It just anyone that's trying to think we need to have a yearly Pokemon release, and that feels ridiculous at a point where I can say there's a Pokemon MOBA, there is a Pokemon mobile game, there is a second Pokemon mobile game. There is not an immediate craving. Well, let me reiterate this. Anyone who is normal and not a freak can understand that there is not a lack of Pokemon content.
Yeah.
And that, I don't know, it's not ridiculous to ask for a few years or so to get that eventual solid mainline title. That's how game development works. That's how making anything works. You need time to allot to that and to properly develop it. But again, that anyone who is not a freak about I don't know, I guess wanting content at the stake or at the behest of worker health, I guess. Just, I don't know. I'm chilling. I'm fine. I'm cool. And any nerd that's upset about wanting more content, let me know so I can just seismic toss them into a locker.
I mean, yeah, I'm absolutely a Pokemon freak. I do want to have that experience every year, but also I don't want it at the expense of others. And the thing is, though, is they absolutely could still have yearly games if they just put the manpower onto it if they gave enough leeway, if they were like, yeah, here's, if we had like 3 teams or whatever, and it was just like, hey, you start this game, you start this game, and you start this game, and then we'll release them like in 3-year chunks, that's pretty reasonable. At least in my opinion. Maybe they might need a little more time. I don't know. But at the very least, I think that's more reasonable than just, hey, we have like 2 teams and they're doing it in 2-year chunks when we're asking for these big releases. That's a lot more, and they're not giving them as many people to work on it. They're not giving them as much time. They're not giving them as much resources when this is the biggest franchise in the entire world. They are making more money than any other franchise ever. They have the money to do it. They just don't want to. So yes, I am still playing it.
That's fair.
I'm still playing that garbage.
So I honestly have no idea how like the middle of the story is in Diamond and Pearl. Because I know in Platinum...
There is none.
Nothing?
Not really.
Fair enough, because I was going to say Platinum is the whole bit where it's like, all right, Cyrus does this big thing, you go to the Distortion world, and then you go catch Giratina, finish up the gyms, go to the Elite Four.
I mean, yeah, you go up to the Spear Pillar, you catch the Legendary, and Cyrus just kind of goes, oh shit, well, bye.
Oh, wow, that is very,
That's it.
That's unassuming.
Yeah.
God.
And I mean, like, you don't even really, like, fully stop him, because it's like, he keeps the, like, I don't know, it's like the triangles or whatever item that he uses to, like, capture the lake spirits.
Like the red chain or something?
Yeah, the red chain, yeah. He just keeps that, so it's not even like he could just go get the lake spirits again and be like, okay, well, you caught Dialga, so I'm just going to try it with Palkia now, bye. Like, he could just do that.
Well,
I don't
best
know.
of luck to him, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And, like, I feel like Platinum fixed that because it was like, yeah, he tried to summon the time and space Pokemon, and then he accidentally brings out Giratina, and he gets fucked up because of it. And then he's like, well, I screwed up. I'm not going to do that again. Like, that is... Like, I'm not going to say that's, like, incredible storytelling, but it's definitely better than what was in Diamond and Pearl, where he's just like, why would I learn my lesson? Who gives a shit? I could still grab the Lake Trio. You don't have them yet. You know? It's
God.
bizarre. It's bizarre.
Again, I am confused as to who has the immediate nostalgia for Diamond and Pearl itself, and I feel bad for everyone that is starting to realize, oh, no, wait, I liked Platinum. That's the one I liked.
I think that's gonna be a thing, because, I mean, people do have nostalgia for Gen 4. It does have a lot of cool stuff going for it. It has some of the best music in the entire series. Like,
oh, yeah.
No shit. Incredible soundtrack. And, you know, some of the Pokemon are really cool. A lot of the characters are really cool. Like, Cynthia's still the coolest champion. Like, Cynthia
by all means, like, that's... Yeah. At no point am I knocking the actual content in Gen 4. Again, it's one of my favorite gens, but I'm saying is that, you know, it's not... the culmination of it all is in Platinum.
Yeah.
To the point where they actually, you know, enhance some of the stuff. And I don't know, I like the male protagonists get up in that little winter ensemble more than I do his dumb little shirt.
Well, good news.
That's just me.
Good news, if you buy the game early, you can get the Platinum outfit for free.
So they're just fucking in the game, but they just choose to make it.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh my god, that.
Yeah.
Again, I feel like it is a want to go back to that, or to continue the whole like dual title setup. But at the same time, you know, I think at that point too, a lot of early Game Freak or those early Pokemon games of just like, I think about Crystal, Emerald, and Platinum as just actually being enhancements to whatever that base game was. And that is ultimately the definitive experience.
Absolutely. And, I mean, you look at the other remakes that they made. Like, Fire and Leaf Green didn't really do it, but Fire and Leaf Green is so weird. But, like, Heart Gold and Soul Silver, they absolutely took stuff from Crystal. I mean, you know, like Esween and Suicune is, like, its own thing, like, from Crystal. and all that stuff. And like Aura's had like a focus on Rayquaza, even though those are 2 games. And hell, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee are explicitly remakes of Yellow version. So they've done it before. They just didn't do it this time, which like I don't know if it was like Game Freak being like, we're not going to let you remake Platinum. You have to remake Diamond and Pearl. Or maybe it was the devs just like trying too hard to be, you know, they were told remake Diamond and Pearl, and they went, okay, well, we're just going to remake Diamond and Pearl. They didn't tell us to remake Platinum. And then like a few months later, they turned it in, and Game Freak was like, oh, fuck. I don't know.
So I'm just like, man, we really let Volkner have a fucking Octillery?
What did we do? Oh, shit. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. It's a bit of a mess, and
yeah,
like I'm on a base level, I'm still getting that good feeling of I am playing Pokemon that still exists here. But it could be so much more. It could be so much more if they had just remade Platinum and put a little bit more effort into it. Just a little bit. And I don't blame the devs. This is Game Freak more than anything. I feel.
Right. I mean, that just raises the question for the eventual Gen 5 remake, which one, you know, I just will not even care about, because why would you remake Perfection?
I was going to say, legitimately, if they, like, because the thing is that, like, Diamond and Pearl does need more work, I think, in today's standard, but if they just copied and pasted in Black and White and then just added the no HMs and the PC in the field, that'd be fine. I'm good with that. That's all I need. I'm good.
Yeah.
Like I definitely
don't care about a fucking 3D remake. Well,
I want more. Don't get me wrong. That would be cool, but I don't need it. I think, like, yeah, Black and White and Black and White 2 are already good enough. I mean, that's the real fucking problem, is that both of those games are really good in very different ways. So which one are they going to remake? That's the big question. I mean, I feel like they're just going to remake Black and White, but then it's just like, man, Black and White 2 had so much other stuff that was cool. It was a vastly different game. Like, it was a completely different story. It was like 2 or 3 years later.
Right. And, you know, it still contained itself in a way where, again, I am of the belief that Gen 5 reached that zenith of sprite animation and just being able to work in that medium, that in the better timeline, we just continually still had a 2D Pokemon setup, and we ignored the freaks that are trying to I keep using freaks a lot, but I mean, I'm just speaking from the heart here. The Gen 1ers, I guess, that keep trying to push for this wanting to push for Far Cry Pokemon, I guess. Or just some weird understanding of Pokemon that it just is not as a, like, monster-based JRPG. Like, Legends is definitely going to be a synthesis of a lot of ideas that are currently in the gaming landscape, but it's still receptive to what Pokemon is and how Pokemon works. So, like, we'll see what holds up for the future. I definitely am not eager to pick up either of these gen remakes, but I definitely echo that. It's been a while since I've been able to pick up a Pokemon game. Sure, I have Sword and Shield, but that's not been something I immediately gravitate to.
Well, Pokemon.
Yeah. And, you know, it's a funny thing about Pokemon. In some circles, they would call them devils, demons.
Yeah, they're little devils, the little monsters, yeah.
They're little demons. And you know who else is a demon?
Tell me, which one?
The Lord of the Flies, Beelzebub.
That's true. Beelzebub's a little, not even a little, he's a big fucking bastard man, and he's cool.
Yeah, you know who's bigger than him? The Lord of Chaos, Lucifer, who managed by all means to kill God. Folks, I've been playing Shin Megami Tensei 5, and it is an ass kicker, and
Yeah.
you know what? It's been a minute. It has been a minute since I've gone into an SMT game, which, I mean, to preface, the other one I've played is 4, but still, you know, Shin Megami Tensei, the overall series that many will say is a progenitor to Pokemon, the whole aesthetic of individual in the prime of their youth, encountering wherewithal in terms of some happenstance that, one, leaves the city of Tokyo in disarray, and 2...
As always.
Yeah, as you do, you know. And 2, provides this protagonist with a power or capability to talk to, negotiate with, and use the power of demons. The catch-all phrase for, you know, gods and mythical creatures of various religions, of faiths, creeds, mythologies, in this overarching multiverse that focuses on the balance between chaos and order. Not necessarily a battle of good and evil, but just understanding these two different ideologies and where they stand in the landscape that is humanity, and more or less just trampling all over that as well. SMT5 definitely picks up in that situation where, you know, immediately you are given the facts that with your young protagonist, you're off in school in Tokyo. You're trying to walk with a group of friends back home when all of a sudden events occur, and when you come through, you are in a wasteland dubbed the Netherworld. This is the aftermath of a war between Chaos, Agents of Chaos and Agents of Order, and the downfall of, I want to say, the God of Order, the most akin to the Abrahamic God, the monotheistic being with his legion of angels and denominations thereof. And so, in the middle of all this, shit's popping off, and a being chooses to fuse with our young protagonist and ultimately becomes a entity known as the Nabuhino. And one, as I will always say, is just looking like one of Lil Nas X's costumes in the Montero music video. I'm really hoping at some point we get to see this MF slide down a pole into Lucifer's domain. That'd be pretty sick. But also, from this, you know, I get the sensation, and this is coming from someone who has not played Shin Megami Tensei 3. I get the feeling that there are a lot of references to events that have happened in 3. Very explicitly, where I would not be surprised if, and I know that there's DLC about this, but I'm not going to be surprised if at some point in the story, there is just a mention of, oh yeah, it's kind of like the Demi-Fiend. And, you know, just one of my prompts is going to be Demi-Fiend, and goes into the tirade of literally just telling me what happened in Nocturne, I guess. But, you know, all that aside, I've really been enjoying my time. I have hit my first wall, which is the first boss of the game. But it is a wall that I am familiar with. I remember hitting that same place in SMT4, and if anything, it's a reminder of just the way that I'm playing it on normal, but Shin Megami Tensei loves to work off scarcity. I think a lot of its difficulty comes from just the amount of scarcity it is built into its gameplay loop, because of the fact that whenever you encounter an enemy, you have your choice of skills, and skills include the base physical attack that you can do. They also include the various magic attacks that you have at your disposal and at your demon's disposal. Also want to say that SMT5 does mark the return of the press turn system. So basically, enter a battle. Let's say you have yourself and 3 accompanying demons. So on the top right, you will see that you do have 4 available turns. And standard order, let's say you just hit spam attack. Spam your physical attack. Each, yourself and each demon gets 1 turn. Cool. Next enemy goes. Simple like that. If you get a crit, or if you figure out an enemy weakness, then you basically get an additional turn that rotates back to the starting point. So let's say I go through everybody normal attack. Last demon I hit gets a critical. I gain an additional turn, rotates back to the start of my lineup, and I just gain that 1 additional turn. If all 4 of my demons get a crit or weakness, then hey, guess what? I basically get to do another round, and then it goes to the enemy turn.
Mm-hmm.
Enemies can also do the same thing. If they crit you, or if they figure out your weaknesses, then they can also abuse the same system, which, a very good reminder to just be cognizant of your own party's weaknesses and your own party's susceptibility to crits and to whatever else. Also is a very... I appreciate SMT's battle mechanics in a way that they require you to be mindful of the stat buffs and debuffs. Because so often, for Pokemon, for example, I rarely touch any stat buff whenever I'm going through the main series. But as soon as I know that I'm getting a few demons, I'm thinking all right, I'm at least going to have one motherfucker that's got my attack buffs, my attack debuffs. As soon as I get the accuracy debuff, that is staying with me in any capacity to make sure that I don't get completely fucked over. Because every single percentage matters in terms of whether or not you can miss. Because misses also affect the press turn. If an enemy misses, they can either quite literally just end their turn right there, or if you're facing a group, can take up to 2 of the available press turns. So it's a very detailed, if you're new to SMT, it's very calculated in the way that you are just very responsive of every little number that can come up. And at the same time, it can be a bit of a grind. That's at least what I've been experiencing so far. I've hit that wall, as I mentioned before, with the first boss. I have a party that I think can ultimately overcome it. It's just a matter of now really just committing myself to gaining a few extra levels, getting up my Maka, looking at my recovery so that, like I mentioned before, there's a lot of baked-in scarcity. MP is a scarce resource, but you also use...
MP healing.
There is MP healing, but then MP healing costs Maka.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I have also yet to see the actual MP recovery items, both available in-store and just out in the overworld. I will say that part of the overworld in SMT5 does allow you to roam and just be able to pick up small, just like drops for HP, MP. Another meter called the Magatsushi, which is a meter that fills up over the course of a turn that lets you unlock a special skill. The skill that I have so far lets me just ensure that every attack in my rotation lands a crit. And so that way it's just an easy cycle through your press turn, which definitely appreciated. I assume that there'll be more in the future. But otherwise, yeah, I've been enjoying my time. SMT is another older series that I think, thanks to its popularity through its sister series, Persona, people are receptive to the way that this brand, Atlus's brand of JRPG, works. And rather than focus on the debate on what's harder, what's easier, where's all this stuff, my gripes against Persona will always be about its writing, and that comes from a dude that I'm pretty sure they fired at this point. So whatever Persona 6, he left? Okay. Rest in piss to him.
Or at least he left working on Persona. He's doing some, other thing for Atlus, but who fucking knows?
Yeah, all the same. It's a style of JRPG that I really appreciate where, like being in it for a minute now and definitely having been exposed to a lot of different variability with the JRPG system, I appreciate a solid turn base that still wants to challenge its player, but in a way that can feel very harsh, but at the same time is just level in terms of the fact that it's not so much enemies abusing a system as it is enemies being as receptive to the system as you are. If an enemy can score a crit off you, they're going to score that crit. If they can rack up all over the press turns, they're going to do it because you would do the same, and you eventually do the same. If anything, the difficulty curve is ultimately just seeing the ways enemies can show you how to manipulate the system later on. Once you do have the means to summon better demons, fuse better demons, find a way to, and I'm still learning this aspect, you have access to demon essences. So rather than have a demon by itself, either to summon through your compendium or to just talk to in the overworld, you can have the essence of this demon, which can either mean you can give this to your main character, the Nabahino. They will be able to incorporate some of the skills that essence carries with it. So let's say I want to use slime essence or whatever and give myself that lunge move alongside my main rotation. If I wanted to, I could do that. I could also get the affinities of that demon. And so I can just now, if I'm thinking about weaknesses and resistances, I can go through. If I have a demon that has like a decent affinity style that I want to look into, I could switch it up that way. I can also do that with other demons. And that is something I am looking at for the future in terms of just being able to think like, all right, if I want a demon to have this kind of capability with stuff, but I don't like their type resistances, maybe I can use an essence to switch that up. And that in turn also affects how their magic might work, because ailment, like if you are weak to wind, but then still choose to have a wind spell on you, I mean, that's just gonna affect that to be a weaker spell because you're already weak to it. But if you strength that and if you are resistant to wind, it's gonna give a boost to it. So there's definitely a lot of strategy that I'm eager to play with once I get through this immediate wall. So far, I've been enjoying it. If you have been introduced to SMT through this one game, hey, it's fucking hard, but also as you get into the groove of it, it becomes very entertaining.
Yeah, SMT is very much about finding the groove, figuring out what you need to do. It's about dying and figuring it out and getting to what you need to get to, and then you hit a point where you're just like, oh, I know what to do now, and the rest of the game is not smooth sailing, but it's manageable. Because I've actually also been playing SMT4 Apocalypse. I got back on that, and hey, that game is also really good. I almost feel like this game is probably the best way to bridge that gap between Persona and SMT. Like, it's just enough of an SMT game that, I think, if you're just coming straight from Persona, you're going to have a bit of a challenge. But it's not enough that it's like, oh my god, this is just killing me. Because I feel like SMT4 has, that first bit is a really hard... I got stuck on the first few battles in that game.
Yep.
For eons. And then I finally got past it, and then I figured the game out, and I was like, okay, yeah, no, now I get it. But I feel like SMT4 Apocalypse doesn't really have that problem. And, Nocturne has that fucking problem. Nocturne's just hard. In general, that game is just hard nonstop from the word go. But, yeah, I think that they are figuring out how to have that challenge, but also make it something that is reasonable and isn't just, fucking you over constantly. It's like, yeah, this is hard, but if you know what you're doing, you're going to figure it out. So you just need to learn what to do, make your team properly, and then you can do it. Like, that's just what it is. And yeah, that's basically that. I think I'm excited to play 5 eventually. But I went for the child monster raising game instead of the adult the I have a job and a mortgage monster raising game.
I didn't know you were getting into Monster Rancher.
Hey, you know what? That shit's those remasters or remake. I think they're just remasters. Those remasters are coming out next month. I will probably get into Monster Rancher.
There you go. Get transported to a faraway land in a world where monsters rules.
Is that the real adult monster raising game? It's like, yeah, children, Pokemon, teens, SMT, adults, Monster Rancher.
Well, you also got to consider where Metabots plays into all this.
Fucking Metabots.
I think dude.
Metabots is like old heads. That's what it is. It's just like, yeah, you're in your like mid-40s and you're just like, yeah, I'm into Metabots, whatever. It's called Metabots because it's like a meta midlife crisis.
Metabots are in the metaverse.
Yeah. Speaking of a verse of some sort. that fucking sucked. Holy shit. But I'm gonna keep going anyway. So Metaverses was finally officially announced. This was something that was hinted at and leaked and, kind of beat around the bush for a while. But they finally announced it. This is the platform fighter, the Super Smash Brothers like game with all the WB characters. So let me see all the confirmed characters here. I gotta like scrabble through this shit. Let me see if they have a picture of the fucking roster. Come on, I don't want to hear this guy talking about how authentic this roster is. Like, bro, shut up. Be normal.
God, I will say it is very funny to see. So immediately when you hear Warner Brothers fighting game, the immediate thought is, oh, this was made in response to the Nickelodeon fighting game. And as soon as you remember how game development works and the way that ideas do bake for a while before actual development goes through, that does make sense. Like, it wouldn't be, you release the Nickelodeon All-Stars Battle, and then immediately after they're like, okay, cool, we have our own game, and we're going to release that now. But I will say that I would definitely believe that the propagation of the Ultra Instinct Shaggy meme did lead to eventual consideration for this game. Because at the very least, that meme started around 2017, when Dragon Ball Super was airing and when a lot of that hype came around.
Yeah, I mean, like, Shaggy's like fighting style in this is just Ultra Instinct Shaggy. It is 100% just that.
Yeah.
Like, he's doing the like Dragon Ball power up, and he's doing a bunch of punches and kicks and all that. He's a Shoto. He's got, he's not like exactly like Ryu, but he does he does a lot of those moves. Shaggy's a Shoto in this. Okay, I do have the full roster here. Yeah, it's Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, and Harley Quinn. So those are the DC characters so far. They got Shaggy, they got Bugs Bunny, Arya Stark from Game of Thrones, Tom and Jerry, Finn the Human and Jake the Dog, and Steven Universe and Garnet. And then there's also an original character called the Rain Dog, like a reindeer dog. It's like, it looks like a dragon, which is weird that it's a rain dog, but yeah, they have an original character in this as well. They said they're going to announce more characters. I will be honest, I think this looks better than Nick All-Stars. Just like graphically, and also the fact that it has voice acting. They very specifically brought up that this has voice acting in it. But it's not like they had the time to like implement it quickly, but also like they put that in the trailer because they were like, yeah, Nick All-Stars doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the problem with Nick All-Stars was that they focused way too hard on making it a competitive game and didn't really make a game for, like, normal people. Like, all the Smash Bros. Heads are into Nick All-Stars because if you can wave dash, that game looks normal. If you don't, it's slow as fuck. Like, you have to do competitive things in that game, or else it ain't worth it. But this looks a lot more balanced. The fact that they actually got like some of the big names to reprise their voices, like not all of them, but they got like Matthew Lillard in for Shaggy. They actually got Maisie Williams for Arya Stark. Tara Strong as Harley Quinn, John DiMaggio's Jake, Kevin Conroy's Batman. Like they got a lot of the like big names to come back for their characters. So
I was gonna say I was curious which Batman they'd go for because
they got Conroy.
Definitely going for a specific. Yeah, I will at least give. Who's Telltale Batman again? I assume it's Troy Baker,
remember, but
honestly, not a bad performance.
Troy Baker might have been Joker, but yeah, I mean, sure, that wasn't bad. But fucking Kevin Conroy's a legend for a reason. I'm just gonna say that.
Oh, yeah, I'm not gonna downplay that for sure.
Sure.
I do hope that. I do hope that they keep. Is it William Hanna? I believe so. I hope they keep William Hanna's screams for Tom whenever he gets smashed out of the screen.
So I don't remember the guy's name off the top of my head, but it's the dude who like got hired to voice like Bugs Bunny and like a bunch of the other Looney Tunes. He's also playing Tom and Jerry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't remember his name off the top of my head. They don't mention him in this, but like they have that guy.
Like recently for.
Yeah. Here, I'm gonna look it up so that way I can give proper credit.
Because I know that like post Mel Blanc, or specifically for Space Jam material, they have Billy West play Bugs Bunny, but I believe there's another actor. I'm thinking specifically for like the Looney Tunes show, might be for these for the HBO Max Looney Tunes as well, but
it's Eric Bauza.
All right.
I mean, he's been Bugs Bunny for a while. So like he like pretty recently got hired to do all that stuff. I don't know if he's like he played him in Space Jam 2 and all that. So
gotcha.
Yeah, Eric Bauza has been around for a while. So yeah, I guess he's also going to be Tom and Jerry. He's also going to be doing that. I don't know. I guess he could do that.
He could.
Yeah. I mean, if you can do Bugs Bunny, you can do anything. That's what I believe.
I feel it.
Yeah, I mean, it looks okay. It looks solid. It is free to play, so hey, you can try it out, and if you don't like it, no skin off your nose. It's going to be on everything except for Switch, which is a little weird that it's not on Switch, but whatever. They did say it's going to have rollback, which is nice. It seems like they are mostly just going to be focusing on like, oh, hey, you can buy like skins and stages and stuff. Like maybe the characters will be free, or maybe like future characters will cost money, but like the base roster is free. I don't know, but yeah, it seems like they're going to focus on it. Like, yeah, here's all the premium costumes and shit like that.
Who do we want on the first Fighter Pass? 4 characters.
I'm just going to say that one of the big rumors is that LeBron is going to be in the first Fighter Pass. So,
oh my god, that'd be fucked up.
So I guess LeBron is one of my picks.
I legitimately am considering an appearance from Don Cheadle himself, Mr. Algae Rhythm.
He would be cool for like the final boss, like the Master Hand type deal. That would be cool. They need Don Cheadle though. They can't just like have it kind of like they need Don Cheadle to voice him. Come on, WB, use that oomph, get him in there. Who else? I mean, like it would be cool to they would never put them in Smash Bros. So it'd be nice to see like Scorpion and Sub-Zero in there. That'd be cool to have Mortal Kombat in a platform fighter finally.
I could see that.
Yeah. I want to see like Gandalf. I want to play as Gandalf.
Yep. The reality is that you remember all of the fucking properties that Warner Brothers now owns, and part of that is seeing that show up in fucking HBO Max, mind you, but yeah, no, just a lot of opportunity. I would not be surprised if the immediate thought is Fred Flintstone. Let's put Fred Flintstone in there.
Yabba fucking dabba do. I want Fred and George Jetson. I will main George Jetson. Like his final smash would be everyone gets on the dog walker thing and they're all begging Jane to stop this crazy thing and she does not listen. she lets it go.
Oh God, I would love a bit of Yogi Bear,
Oh,
but
Yogi
then every
Bear.
other skin is just another like Hanna-Barbera funny animal main character
That's good.
because they're all the fucking same.
Augie Doggy and Doggy Daddy as ice climbers.
Yep, that's one of the classic ones. Magilla Gorilla.
Oh man, if this was a Tatsunoko versus Capcom type deal, uh, Grape Ape would be like, it'd be like, oh yeah, you could have two characters or one giant character, so Grape Ape would be the giant character.
That'd be solid.
The banana splits. Let's get the fucking banana splits in here.
Oh, they'd be a fucking menace.
Yeah.
You gotta get, okay, I'm thinking, oh no, you get Tony Soprano in there.
Yes.
Because I'm trying to think, okay, HBO originals, let's get some of those in there. You get, you get somebody from The Wire. I admittedly have not seen The Wire, so can't talk fully about that one. Get Joe Pera, but as an announcer.
Fuck. Yeah, let's do it. Fuck. Master Shake needs to be in this game. Master Shake.
That'd be solid. I was considering Master Shake, but
Space Ghost.
Yep.
Captain Planet. Fuck. There's so many characters. Like, oh my god. Courage the Cowardly Dog. Come on.
Yeah, man, they're all under one conglomerate. There's so much options to choose from.
Listen, Monopoly's fucking blow, but also we need all these characters in this platform fighter.
You are not immune to capitalism, John.
Yeah, I'm speaking out against capitalism and then immediately being like, oh man, isn't it cool when one thing owns a bunch of shit in one episode? It's great, isn't it?
As Everly stated, we should improve society somewhat, and yet you participate in society. I am very smart.
Yeah, basically.
I forget if that got sold as an NFT. I want to say probably.
I think so. So, you know what? At least I'm not doing that.
You think we wouldn't? You thought we wouldn't mention NFTs one more week. Well, guess what? Here they are, and here I am flipping them off again.
Yeah, fuck it.
Shout out to the dude that downloaded every single NFT JPEG. Oh, that ruled.
So let's see what else we got here. All right. I mean, if we want to talk shit about some companies fucking up, you talk about Rockstar again.
Oh, let's dip in.
So Rockstar put out finally spoke out on the response to the definitive edition of the trilogy, the PS2 trilogy. And they were like, "Hey, yeah, you're right. This sucks ass. It did not launch in a state that meets our own standards of quality or the standards our fans have come to expect," which is really underselling it. They are saying that there will be an update in a few days that will address a bunch of issues. They did not specify which ones. They said that they have continued plans to continue to fix things and improve each game going forward. But they also said, and this is honestly probably the nicest part, which, I mean, hey, they shouldn't have done this in the first place, but hey, at least they're back. They are, in fact, bringing back the original classic PC versions of 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. And if you own the definitive edition, you will get it for free. So there you go. That's a little something for y'all. You know, who knows how these console versions are going to be when those come out, because they aren't out yet, and how they will be updated. But yeah, those games are rough, and hopefully they get patched up. And you know, even if they don't, at the very least, for now, you're able to buy the originals again. And I mean, hopefully Rockstar stops being bastards to modders, because hey, guess what? Modders started to fix the issues with the definitive edition almost immediately. So it's almost like modders are actually the reason why these games are remembered as fondly as they are.
That's pretty wild. Wow. Who would have thought?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Rockstar fucking up, but cleaning up a little bit, I guess. Whatevs. Halo Infinite, it's out, kinda. The multiplayer's out. I haven't played any of it yet. I know some folks on the site have, and it seems like they like it, even though there are a few things that are a little iffy. But
I played a little bit,
okay,
and I gotta say, as someone that doesn't often play first-person shooters, it is the genre I have the least bearing and likeness to. Just even getting one game in a Halo, like even when I was like sucking ass, I still had fun. There is an inherent like fun to Halo, where even it was just like making my own narrative of, all right, this one dude keeps getting me. He's my rival for this match. If I can at least get 1 or 2 kills off of him, I'm going to feel content for this game. Mm-hmm. Manage those 1 or 2 kills. Even though we lost, I knew, hey, I was able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just very, for all intents and purposes, Halo as a multiplayer genre, like, I get it. I get why it's persisted. I get why it's a standard. I get why so many people, as we are all wants to say, want to finish the fight.
Mm-hmm. So, unfortunately, they have delayed co-op and the Forge yet again. Season 1 of the multiplayer is extra long because they need more time to finish Season 2, and I guess they did just finish the single-player campaign. But they basically said, hey, we want Season 2 to be made in a healthy and sustainable way. We want Season 1 to be as long as possible. So they're saying they want Season 2 to come with Forge. Or, no, they want Season 2 to have co-op campaign and Season 3 to have Forge. They said that this stuff will be May 2022 at the soonest. Which, you know what? Makes sense to me. I mean, maybe they should have delayed the entire game. But, just having the multiplayer is fine, and then they're going to be rolling out the single player soon. I mean, I know that a lot of people feel like co-op campaign is like the way that they play the campaign. So this is maybe a little bit of a bummer that they're not going to be able to do it like how they want to at first. But, it seems like they are also actively working on Season 1 because people are very much not happy with how experience works in that game. I don't know enough to really speak on it. I've just seen people talking about it, but it sounds like the whole Battle Pass thing and all that stuff, it seems like you only really get, for a while at least, you were only really getting experience if you were doing challenges, and then they changed it so you get experience, I think, with each match, but it's like a very infinitesimal amount. So, it just seems like they haven't really figured out how to do a battle pass or levels or anything like that, which seems to be something that a bunch of other games have already figured out, so I don't know why they're not, like, just copying that shit, but I don't know. It's weird. But hopefully the devs are not overworking, and hopefully Halo is good. Let's see. Let's see what else. Let's see what else you got here. Another dumbass corporation here. Streamlabs has been under fire recently because they stole pretty much everything about themselves from their website, how their tools work, from OBS, and from Lightstream, the competitors of them. They're competitors. They worked a bit with OBS at one point, but not in the sense that, like, oh, hey, we're going to be, we're going to be working with you all the way. It seemed very one-sided, and OBS very much didn't want them to do it as much as they did. And so Streamlabs is now getting taken to task for this. They're finally admitting that they stole pretty much everything from Lightstream, and also they are dropping the OBS from its name, because OBS itself said, hey, we don't want you to do that. It just sounds like a complete mess. Like, there's a picture of the Lightstream website and the Streamlabs website, and yeah, it's very obvious that Streamlabs just completely copied Lightstream's website, like down to like the types of images that they use, the wording. Like, they very much just like very minusculely changed the wording in the like descriptions for the products. It's a real mess, but it seems to be getting taken care of for now, which is nice.
Yeah, there's been a lot of interesting developments up. Like, as soon as Streamlabs had the expose on it, I've seen so many things come up between OBS getting its fair share, where honestly, yeah, as someone that has dabbled into streaming for a little bit, OBS is definitely one of the easier workarounds to go with. Mm-hmm. Streamlabs, if anything, was a more immediate alternative, if only for the fact that you could just directly include PayPal stuff. But in lieu of that, there have been so many things that have been coming out recently. I think some people that I follow and who I talk to in other Discords use SePay or CPay as one option, and it also just provides different benefits in terms of just like how much of the cut you get ultimately, as opposed to the way that PayPal directs its own funding and just ends up getting more of that overall like donation total or what have you. Ko-fi, I have also seen, or Coffee, the Ko-Fi, Coffee. Coffee has also announced that they are doing their own tipping integration with Twitch, and so while still in an early beta, it's going to be very interesting to see that crop up as another way to sort of just integrate the way that, just the immediate gain of streaming is easy ways to get donations into the streamer, and then the streamer having a way to recognize that in a simple way. Streamlabs definitely, through its taking of other assets, makes it very easy to do that. Donation comes in, get a little message, go about your way. But there are at least other ways that are propping up now to make that easier, and to do so without incorporating a developer that definitely has just been properly exposed.
Next up, this is a weird one. Interplay has announced that there is going to be a new Earthworm Jim show, and they very specifically came out and said Doug TenNapel is not involved with this. If you do not know, Doug TenNapel is a gigantic piece of shit. He has been constantly anti-LGBTQ. Just a total garbage human. Very actively even tried to keep progressive things out of comics. Like, he's just been awful for years and years and years. But he does not have the rights to Earthworm Jim for I don't think anything really anymore. Interplay just has all the rights to Earthworm Jim. They very specifically, like, the Twitter account was like, people were like, hey, is Doug involved with this? And like the Earthworm Jim Twitter account in character as Jim was like, nope, he's not involved. And then like someone was like, do you hate trans people, Jim? And he was like, of course not. So like, they had to go out there and have Earthworm Jim do the trans rights or human rights thing, which, is better than otherwise, but it's just very funny that they had to get this cartoon Earthworm to say that trans people are okay because the fucking creator's such a piece of shit. I don't know who wants this. I mean, there's supposed to be a new Earthworm Jim game for the fucking Amico, which is never coming out. But, I mean, I think this cartoon, they have like a trailer think the cartoon looks nice. I didn't really like any of the jokes in it. It wasn't very funny to me, but I think it's got a cool art style. I think the Earthworm Jim games are bad. I think they're bad games. I have a little bit of nostalgia for the original Earthworm Jim cartoon, where Jim was played by Dan Castellaneta, which, is very funny to think about when you just think like, oh, this guy has been like Homer Simpson for ages and he doesn't have to do anything else anymore. Well, yeah, he was Earthworm Jim in the past. Isn't that crazy? I don't know. I don't know. It's very strange that this exists. I don't know. I don't know who asked for this. I don't know what they're doing.
Equal parts strange.
It doesn't look horrible.
Yeah, it feels like, the way that we often talk about nostalgia cycles, 90s nostalgia is just getting out of way for early 2000s nostalgia, and so now is a better time to launch an Earthworm Jim project than to wait another 5 years where officially, no one will care about Earthworm Jim.
I guess so, yeah. Yeah. It's very strange. Very strange. Alright, last bit of news here. This is a really weird one, not in a bad way, but just like I would have never guessed they'd do this, but it's a cool idea. It's called Dragon Ball The Breakers, which I am going to be calling DBDBD, because it is a Dead by Daylight type thing, where you play as humans. It's a 7v1, where it's a bunch of the human characters. So we're not going to be not even like Krillin. I'm talking like non-powered humans. I'm talking about like Oolong and Bulma and like the fucking like background animal characters and shit like that. And you're trying to survive fighting up against 3 of Dragon Ball's greatest villains. I think they showed Cell and Frieza, and I think Kid Buu or just regular Buu. I'd have to look again.
One of them, the 3.
One of the Boos.
The 3 classics.
Buu of some sort.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're trying to survive. You're trying to escape. And as I guess if you're playing as the villain, you're trying to like gain more power. Like they have different things. Like Oolong can like turn into things, so he can hide better. Like Bulma can probably like use different weapons better than other characters. There's all kinds of stuff like that. It seems like a really, really neat idea. Like I really like this concept. I also saw that there's even like a power up that you can pick up that like lets you fight like a Z fighter for a short amount of time. So, I feel like there's probably a bunch of different ways to win. Like maybe you can actually defeat the enemy if you like, if you fight them early on enough. Like if you get like, like Super Saiyan 2 Gohan's powers, you'll be able to beat Cell. Or, if you get like Super Vegeta, you can beat Cell before he turns into perfect form. I don't know. Maybe you can, find the Z sword and defeat Boo. There's all kinds of different things you can do, I bet. Or you could just escape. Or maybe there's like things where you can like maybe call up the Z fighters and be like, Goku, get over here. And you have to just like survive long enough for Goku to show up. There's a lot of different options. It's a really neat idea. I definitely want to try it out. It's a cool concept. So they said that this is coming out in 2022 for Switch, PS4, PC, and Xbox One. So it's not. I don't know if there's going to be like an actual PS5 and Series X, or I guess Series version, but it'll play on those. And they also said that there is also going to be a beta test soon. So there you go. That's pretty neat.
Nice.
Were you ever a big Dragon Ball person, Matt?
I feel like, for the most part, any... how can I say this? The generation of kids that grew up on anime through Toonami have definitely had a Dragon Ball phase. And those who have become parents have them beget children who are aware of Dragon Ball.
Mhm.
You know, like I still work with kids who will know how to do a Kamehameha wave. Have they seen any of Dragon Ball? Maybe. I'll believe that, that parent sat them down to watch a few episodes on Hulu or something. But ultimately, yeah, I always liked Dragon Ball. It wasn't anything that I like immediately dismissed. But also I recognize like all of the trappings that come with it. At the same time, so much of my interaction with it comes and goes. I was a kid that loved Budokai Tenkaichi 3, wasn't super hot on any of the Xenoverse stuff, but comme ça. I am interested at least that, with the focus on this being like below Z Fighter level humans, I hope this means we get some like wilder picks for who is in that for that villain roster. Like I would love to see Garlic in there. Put Dr. Gino?
Jiro.
Not Jiro. I'm thinking about Dr. Wheeler. That's what I'm thinking about.
Okay.
Dr. Wheeler, the brain in the big robot suit. Put put Raditz in there.
Yeah.
Put Raditz and Nappa in there. It's so much of the
media. He hates the media. Nappa hates the media.
He hates the media. I feel like so much of the memory of Dragon Ball is quick to just point out like, man, Raditz is a bitch, Nappa's a bitch, but it's also like
they're way stronger than an average human. Like I think they very specifically said that like nobody in this can have a power level higher than 5, which like actually like like someone like Yajirobe and like Mr. Satan, like they couldn't be playable in this because they are stronger than that. Like they're stronger than the average human, so you couldn't play as them because they would be able to probably put up a little bit of a fight at least.
You could definitely have a Tao Pai Pai in this.
Yeah.
And that'd be fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I hope this ends up being a way to actually include more of like OG Dragon Ball, because I still feel like it gets immediately love that everyone is considering Launch as a playable survivor. Like that rules. And I very much agree with that. And also, yeah, just like I hope this is a chance for Dragon Ball to step a little bit away from its hyper focus on how Super and latter end of Z presents its series. And I just hope it's a chance to have a little bit more fun.
Yeah, because they have reached such powerful characters now. Like everyone is as strong or stronger than gods now. So I like the idea of just like dialing it all the way back and just being like, yeah, you know what? Bulma can figure shit out for herself. Like, yeah, she's, if she gets caught, she's fucked up, but also, hey, she can still get out of there. She could even fight back if given the opportunity. Like, yeah.
What you do is you get a power up that lets you summon Dragon Ball Z's Devilman, who I specifically remember the one mission in Budokai Tenkaichi 3 where you play as him versus a gauntlet of all of like the famous villains in Budokai Tenkaichi 3, because his ultimate specifically deals extra damage to bad guys. It's a matter of just waiting until you can get your ultimate, and then you just launch that on each one and like literally one hit KO all of them. Very fun, very broken, and I hope to see that in this, where it is a fun little power imbalance in a way that like definitely was not anticipated, I would say.
All right, are you ready to go on to questions?
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
Let's go. If you want to send in a question, go to videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ask, and you'll send like these folks right here. Elfie actually could not be on the show tonight, but she did send in 2 questions. So we will answer your questions, Elfie. First off, she asks, what are your gaming-related holiday shopping plans? Do you have any ideas for that? Because I'm just going to say, not really, because I'm kind of broke.
Honestly, like right now, I am just looking through whatever. Earlier today, I was looking at the Black Friday sales, and I do see that 13 Sentinels on a PS4 is discounted. I might want to pick that up, but also I'm looking at that's my big thing. Just whatever holiday sales are up, gonna see what I can pick up, what seems interesting, what has eluded me in the past or whatever. I'm hoping that Cold Steel 4 gets a discount again, at least in the December sale, because as much as I like the series, I kind of don't want to pay a full price for one of them. But that's just me, because I know how often they are discounted.
Yeah. Reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, God, the other thing too is like I can always just check Game Pass.
Yeah.
Because more often than not now, like anything that I would maybe want to try, like I was thinking about Somnium Files, I can just get it on Game Pass now.
It's fucking great. You gotta play Somnium Files.
I gotta.
I think you of all people would really like Somnium Files.
Oh, probably. That's the thing. Like I'm aware of the things that I would really enjoy. It's just a matter of actually getting to them. So.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm sorry for the boring answer, but yeah, I'm very much in the process of trying to, get a job and make money and all that. So I don't really have any concrete ideas for like buying myself anything or anything like that. If I do get some money to buy other people's stuff, though, I'm absolutely gonna go around and pick some stuff up for people. I love to buy stuff for people. I love to. Get them something. See, my thing is I always want to get people things. Like, my rule for buying gifts is you buy something for someone that they would not buy themselves. And, that's something that, that friends have done for me, too. And, like, for example, for my birthday this past year, my friends bought me the fucking MODOK action figure that Marvel Legends did. And, like, I would have never picked that up myself. But he was just like, yeah, that's exactly what he was like. He was like, yeah, I knew you wouldn't pick that up, but I also know that MODOK's pretty cool, so I think that would work. And you know what? Now, because he bought that, I'm making a friggin' Marvel vs. Capcom, like, a display now. So I'm just gonna be, like, setting up a bunch of my figures and, being like, oh yeah, no, here's, like, MODOK and, I don't know, I guess maybe, like, I have to get, like, Dr. Doom or something fighting Iron Man and Ryu. I gotta set that up. Alright, next question, also from LV. Name a video game character and their contribution to the Thanksgiving dinner. Ooh, who is bringing what? Who is bringing what?
Cool Spot's got the drinks.
Cool Spot? So here's the question, is he just bringing 7-Up, or do you think he's like, oh no, don't worry, I'm not... Do you think he's like sick of it? He's like, oh, I couldn't drink another drop of 7-Up, I gotta bring like Pepsi or root beer or something. If I'm even near the stuff, I start heaving. Or do you think he still loves it?
Pepsi Man has the Pepsi.
Okay, yeah. I mean, Pepsi Man is more of a video game character. Like, they're both from ads, but like I almost feel like Cool Spot is more of just like the ad, but I feel like when you say Pepsi Man, you think of the game more than the ads.
I was gonna say Cool Spot does have the Cool Spot video game.
Yeah, but again, like you say Cool Spot, I think about the ads. But
fair enough.
I don't know. I guess that's me. I guess that's just me. Gotta think about some fucked up characters here. I don't know. I mean,
the Belmonts have the chicken or the poultry down natch.
Oh yeah. So I mean, would they be bringing that, or do you think like? I feel like maybe like Dracula and Alucard would be showing up with that, just being like showing up. They would walk in with like a slab of rock, and everyone would be like, "Why are you putting that on the table?" And they'd be like, "Why don't you whip it and see?" And then they do, and then there's the chicken in there, and everyone's like, "Yay!"
Oh, that'd be fun. That'd be a fun little parlor trick for the evening.
Yeah. Take a look. See, my room isn't set up all the way yet, so I can't do my classic look at my game shelf and tell you which and rattle off things from the games that I own because I don't have any set up.
All right, I'll help you here. What does Travis bring?
What does Travis bring? Fuck. I mean,
does he try to make something, or does he just pick something up from the 7-Eleven? If he's picking something up, okay.
I think if we're talking like No More Heroes 1 or even No More Heroes 2, Travis, he would absolutely be the person who's just like, yeah, I'm bringing the plates, and they're gonna be like, dude, we have plates here. You don't have to bring paper plates. And he's just gonna be like, he'll be completely lost if he's not just bringing the paper plates and or the plastic silverware. Like he does not want to bring actual food, because if he tries to bring actual food, yeah, he's just gonna go to like 7-Eleven and he's just gonna be like, yeah, I bought like 2 40s and like a bunch of Cheetos, and they're gonna be like, yeah, we're not gonna eat this. But I think once 3 rolls around, once he's like with Sylvia and he's got some and he's kind of a bit more of a part of the community, I could see Travis showing up with and being like, I got a fruit medley.
That's fair.
I could see him just being like, I got like something that's not like, oh man, I did a really good job. Like, I don't think that he's gonna like knock it out of the park and be like, oh yeah, I baked a fucking pie or something. But I think he'd be like, you know what? I gotta do something a little bit better for everybody. I'm showing up with like one of those plastic containers that has a bunch of like crackers and meats. You know, that's something I think he would bring. Like, it wouldn't be anything great, but it would definitely. I feel like he's matured a little bit over the years enough that he would show up with like a party platter of some sort.
You can tell that he committed to himself and got that Costco membership.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's Sylvia's Costco membership, but he's you know, piggybacking off of it and doing something relatively good with it. You know, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I could see it.
Or he's bringing like I don't know. He's like getting he's doing one of those. He's getting some like he's buying some sort of snack that has a video game tie-in to it. Like, oh yeah, I bought like a bunch of game fuel because it's got Halo codes, and I'm not going to drink all of these by myself. So here you go. Sylvia won't let me drink an entire 12 can box of game fuel anymore. So I need to bring this to Thanksgiving so the kids can polish it off.
He wound up at the one store in his area that still sells Ball's energy soda.
God.
He saw a good deal at the Micro Center, and then on the way there, just saw the whole mini fridge full of it.
Okay, I'm thinking here. Fucking. Do you think? Okay, all right. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
The 4 SMT heroes that I am somewhat acquainted with. All right, so would Demi-Fiend bring anything to the Thanksgiving dinner, or do you think that like that's like beneath him? Do you think he's like, I can't think of festivities, I'm too busy killing?
I feel an attempt to still understand like that humanistic aspect to himself. I could see him bringing Demon Corpse as like, here's the hunt.
Yeah, it's just like, here you go. Here's like the bottom half of a Jack Frost. I took the head off. That's for me. That's for later. I'm eating that later. And they're like, oh boy. Flynn, I think Flynn absolutely would get into Thanksgiving. That guy is like, that guy would bring the fucking like stuffing. You know, he's a nice little boy. He's a little straight laced, but like it'd be really good stuffing. Fucking what's his name from SMT Apocalypse? I have it right next to me. I can look at it right now. What's this fucker's name? Hang on. Yeah, show me the notes. What is Nanashi? Yeah, Nanashi. He's like a fucking punk. He's like a punk kind of kid. What kind of like Mad Max shit do you think Nanashi's bringing to Thanksgiving? Like
some smoked pigeon or some shit.
I don't know. Just being like, yeah. Like here's some squirrel. Yeah, I could see that. And then what about old Nahabino here? Do you think they're capable of Thanksgiving?
Potentially. Potentially.
Okay.
You know, they're still understanding who they are at this point, but could at least be bothered to consider something for Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm. Cranberry sauce.
Yeah, you know,
Cranberry
someone's
sauce.
gotta... He can take care of it.
Who's bringing the turkey just in general? Can you think of a video game character that will make the turkey?
A video game character that can make the turkey. That's a
Who's
very...
making the turkey?
I'm trying to think about who would be solid for it. I mean, I'm going through my list of, like, chef characters.
Okay, I'm sorry to bring up Travis Touchdown again, but, like, I remember that Popeye, you could buy a fucking turkey at Popeyes now, and I think he would do that, too. He would just swing by Popeyes and get the turkey.
Yeah. No, he would definitely... Oh, yeah, he would. He would. He'd
be fucking stoked about it, too. He'd be like, oh, man, if this is as good as the chicken sandwiches...
He would love it. Oh, God, I'm trying to think about who else...
Who could
be a solid turkey contender?
Though? Yeah, make the turkey.
Because, you know, it is a whole... That is the day that you spend. That is a whole day that you...
Oh, yeah.
Commit to the turkey. 2 days even, because you have to let it brine, you have to let it actually, like, dry itself out, and that itself can take 24 hours. Like, I'm trying to think about who would be committed to that. I mean, a straight-laced person that wants to... I could see, you know what? Homie from... it's escaping me. Man, I was going to be so cool and name the town in Persona 4. But, yeah.
Narukami? You think Narukami's showing up with the turkey?
I could see Narukami taking in a turkey.
Yeah. Sure.
He's got a deafness to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, I don't know, maybe Link.
Yeah.
He would try it. He would definitely try a turkey.
Breath of the Wild Link, making it in the big pot. Yeah.
Breath of the Wild Link is a deep fryer.
Okay.
He would try to deep fry the turkey.
Shirtless. And you know what? He'd pull it off. No burns, no nothing. Just, he would do it.
No.
Yeah. Nobody would know how, but he would pull it off somehow. All right. Harlequin Wheels asks a question, and this is a toughie because this specifically comes up because I had a very visceral reaction to something that he sent me once recently, where we were talking about like anime conventions and shit, and he like brought up, you know, the how VTubers are doing convention panels and all that. And when I saw that, like, the recent HoloLive panels were just Q&As, I was like, no, we are not watching that. No, because Q&As are so bad. No. So I had the fear of God in me as soon as I saw that. So Wheels' question is, which video game character is hosting the best / worst anime convention panel you've ever been to? So which game characters have the best panels and which would have the worst?
Oh, that's so hard to discern.
Easy answer, Travis Touchdown is both. Next choice.
I mean, yeah, we can't just default on Travis Touchdown. Come on.
I know, but it's still true.
I know it's true, but we need to explore the whole gaming landscape.
Absolutely. Let's see.
You didn't even consider King Harkinian. You didn't even consider him.
Dinner in anime. Oh my god. Famous anime dinners. I would go to that. Are you kidding me? Like, there's that panel that shows up in a lot of conventions that's just like anime burgers. You know, yeah, just have King Harkinian do like famous dinner scenes in anime. Yeah. I would legitimately want to see that. So yeah, I'm putting that one under best.
Alphys would have a panic attack trying to talk about anime with a bunch of humans.
Aw, yeah, it would be bad, but it wouldn't be your fault. It would just be like everyone would just be like, we get it, it's okay.
Yeah.
We would fill her with determination, and she'd be more comfortable talking about Mew Mew Kissy Cutie. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Come on.
And then someone would be like, so, like, does your girlfriend like it? And then she would relapse again.
Aw. Aw.
And someone being so frank of the situation.
Aw. Poor Alphys. Oh boy. I mean, any Fate character would have a horrible time at an anime convention just because they would be trying to explain who they are, and people would be like, you're not the real King Arthur. And they would get into like a huge argument. They'd be like, oh yeah, your fake anime sword cosplay can't withstand my pew pew laser gun that has an orange tip on it, and then Saber would just like slash a man in half. But the panel would be interesting, so I guess, that'd be fine.
Well, then you'd also just have a corner of people literally reciting the fucking unlimited blade works incantation.
Yeah. I mean, that happens
just
anyway, so...
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it would just be happening in, like, a specified sector of the fucking convention hall.
Yeah.
Because they're all just hanging out with Emiya.
Yeah. I want Samus to host, like, a space opera panel. I want to see her talking about, like, Outlaw Star and Cowboy Bebop and shit like that. And, like, Captain Tyler.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. She'd be like, that's not how it actually is out there, but it's still fun, Yeah, I mean, there's...
What video game character would get into an argument with a fan or someone that's going to the panel?
Fuck. I could see, like... Oh, fuck, you know what? Okay, here's my mind palace here. Here's my fucking concept here. Bowser is. He's not hosting the panel, alright? I think Bowser, it would be like, I don't even know if it'd be like an anime convention. I think like Bowser Jr. would want to go to like a Minecraft convention or something. And he'd be like that kid who like went up and was like, how much dedicated wham do you need or whatever? And like, people would be like laughing at Bowser Jr. And then Bowser would be like, I'm absolutely gonna kill all of you for laughing at my boy. Like, he's being so brave coming up here and asking about dedicated RAM. You're all done for. Like, that is my concept here, is Bowser Jr. Being a cute little kid at the Minecraft convention and Bowser sticking up for his kid.
God, just really pulling a classic one with Bowser yelling that you done goofed.
Yeah, absolutely. He's gonna do the Bowser down B. He's gonna butt slam you if you keep talking shit about his kid,
Yeah.
Because Bowser's like, I need to know how much... He's like, you know what? I need to know how much dedicated RAM I need to buy for my kid's computer. Because... Or steal from Peach's computer, or whatever he's gonna do. Speaking of, Princess Peach would do a fucking killer Sailor Moon panel. Absolutely.
That would be solid.
Peach and Daisy, like, up there doing, like, magical girl shit. Like, I don't, like... I feel like Peach is more Sailor Moon. I think Daisy's more Pretty Cure.
I buy it.
That's what I'm picking up. Yeah, that's what I'm picking up from them. All right. I think that does it for this week's show. Maverick, thank you so much for being on. Back in the saddle for now. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna be honest. I'm like in the middle of trying to get a job, and I'm still kind of decorating my room and all that. So, things might still be a little up and down with me personally, but we'll keep chugging along. Game of the Year is soon. We got other stuff we're working on. This, I know we've been talking about it for ages, but the site redesign keeps becoming more and more real as time goes on. I'm excited. I'm really excited, and I will just say that it is all thanks to you listening that we're able to do this stuff. So, If you want to support us, you can go to patreon.com/VGCC. Give us $3 a month. And you can get access to our podcast about anime, Unlimited Railworks, where Maverick and I, as well as Rose and LV, hang out and chat about anime. We're going to be actually talking about something that isn't anime. We're going to be talking about Kamen Rider Build next time. But, I'd say it is anime adjacent, especially with how off the shits it is. So I don't think that it's too far to throw that on the pile. And there's also other stuff coming up. We have interviews coming up. We have new Starlight cars. We're working on a lot of stuff. It is a lot of it is behind the scenes right now, but I can't make any plans on exactly when stuff will be releasing, but it's coming. It's coming. Yeah, just $3, and you'll gain access to that a whole week early, and all that money gets to help us with the site redesign, with buy-in games. I got Pokemon with Chooch bucks, so that was because of you all that I could even get Pokemon. I wouldn't have been able to talk about it without y'all. And if you want to keep supporting us, you can follow us on Twitter at VGChooChoo. You can follow us on Tumblr, videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com. A Facebook page, a YouTube page. You have our Discord server, where if you type in thegamezone.zone into your web browser, it'll bring you straight there. There's the invite link. We have our Twitch, twitch.tv/VGChooChoo. I don't think we've really been doing anything with it recently, but it's there if you want it. And thank you to Magic Circuit for their song Crush off of the album Magic is Real. If you want to listen to their stuff, it's meltchannel.bandcamp.com or magic-circuit.bandcamp.com. The Magic Circuit stuff is their more recent stuff, but Melt Channel is the band. Was the band that we got the song from. And of course, where can we find you, Maverick?
You can find me over on Twitter at Mavsplaniamania. That is at MAVSPLANIAMANIA, where you can just see me, shoot the shit, contemplate my life choices. Winds of change definitely coming by as I'm realizing, shit, I'm being played right now in my current life situation, but it's all good. It's the up and the down. I am at least in a position where, hey, regardless of what I'm thinking about, I still am in a position that lets me not worry financially yet. So definitely different from where things were last year,
Sure.
And all the same, get your quality posts about the good things in life, like wife. Consider wife. You can follow me at JOHN_MICHONSKI on Twitter, if you so choose. I'm probably going to be tweeting about Pokemon for the next few days. So, there you go. That's what you should be expecting. There's going to be a point where I'm going to be shiny hunting again in that fucking game. Isn't that scary? That's scary. That's scary to me. Yeah. Well, at least in this one, it's got the chaining method, the Poketech thing. So that's a little easier, at least. But let's go. Let's hope it happens sometime. All right. Well, thank you all for listening. We'll be back next week with another episode of the Video Game Choo-Choo podcast. Man, it feels good to say again. Yeah, I'm back. Thank you. And we'll be back next week. See you later.